Welcome to another episode of Waves of Wisdom. Today, I'm going to talk to one of the prominent sales trainers from India. His passion is into promoting sales and personal mastery. Welcome to the show, Dr. Arunaagiri.
Thank you very much. Yes, it's always a pleasure talking to you. And I really love the basic context behind your podcast and looking forward to sharing my thoughts with you.
Thank you. Thank you for accepting my invitation. And I'm so glad that I got to record this session in your hometown, Mumbai, India.
Absolutely. It's my honor.
Yeah. Wonderful. So, Dr. Arunaagiri, just to start, can you tell us a little bit background about the kind of work you do and how you got interested in what you're doing right now?
Absolutely. Yes, my passion is in training and facilitating and coaching and mentoring human beings. And my mission is to help every human being whom I train to help them identify their self-created barriers. And through the facilitation and training, help them to remove that barrier and thereby enable them to lead a more purposeful, more powerful, and more profitable life. This has been my vision and mission as a trainer. And I had a passion for training, or had a natural gift for training right from the beginning. I remember as I've been very passionate about sports, right from my school days, I used to be playing for my school team. And as we didn't have many good basketball players, I used to pick up athletic boys and train them, coach them, and lead them into basketball. So right from then, I've been involved in coaching and training and teaching some skill or the other. And this slowly developed into a passion. And over a period of time, I realized that sales was one such function, one such life skill, which I felt was very, very important for human beings. And I also realized that many times people invalidate the importance of selling as a skill, and because of which they pay a very high price. And as I've been sharing with you, selling is the most important personal skill, most important business skill. And if you actually look at the overall broad definition of sales, which is any human being who's involved in selling a product, services, or ideas is a salesperson. Under this purview, you see that every human being, whatever role you play, you are involved in the process of selling or persuasion or influencing. So that has been the reason why I've been so passionate about it. And one more thing which I realized was many of the entrepreneurs, especially, the record globally and more so in my country is that out of 10 new entrepreneurs who start off, 9 of them closed down within the 5 years. And what I realized was one of the main reasons why most of the entrepreneurs fail is because they don't have growth, profitability, and cash flow. All these 3 inputs in any business is given by generating profitable sales. Because they have not been trained in the science and art of selling, they miss out on this most important element of any business and thereby pay a very heavy consequence of having to close down the business. So that's the reason why I've been very passionately trying to learn myself and teach it to as many entrepreneurs and business units so that they can prosper. And when small entrepreneurs prosper, this leads to the prosperity of society and the nation at large.
Wonderful. And I can see that even when you're speaking right now, that passion you have for this disseminating of this knowledge and your mission. I've first met you in when you spoke at the Maldives Professional Speakers Summit, and it was, I would say, one of the best speeches we have. And after that, you have spoken also at the Maldives HR convention this year. So I have seen how passionate you are about, and
thank you.
I think it's for the first time from you I heard that sales is one of the most important life and personal skills, which I never thought about before. But when I thought about it, and when also I listened to some of your podcasts and your videos, and you are hosting this YouTube channel which is called Sales Mastery.
Yes.
Yeah. So it has so many good nuggets for the listeners on sales. Can you explain, just before this session, the background, we were talking a little bit, and you mentioned another very profound wisdom, I would say, from you, which if you could share with our audience, is about um, first person you mentioned something like that. First person you have to sell something is to sell to yourself. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you for picking up that point, because it's very, very critical. Whenever you have to sell, persuade, or influence somebody else, the most important person who has to be first convinced is yourself. And even in sales, it is said the biggest barrier or the most important sale that you have to do is to sell to yourself first. And as we define selling as the transfer of your conviction and enthusiasm about your product, services, and ideas to another human being.
Yeah.
So you will be able to do that only when you are convinced about yourself. And that's what brings in the authenticity. That's what brings in the power, the purpose, and automatically you're able to induce a state change in the other person. And once if you're able to do it, sale automatically happens. Because selling is not by, nobody likes to be sold. Everybody wants to buy. So when they see your enthusiasm, your conviction, automatically they will be inspired to take a decision in your favor of buying your product and services because of your passion, your enthusiasm, your conviction about the idea which you are talking about, or your product and services which you are trying to share with them as a solution for their problem.
Yeah. Wonderful. Let's take a little bit a step back and tell us a little bit about your childhood. You are originally from South India, but you spent a great number of your youth in Mumbai, a very cosmopolitan city of India, different from where you came from. How that transition help you to actually change your life or format your career or your character?
Yeah. Again, a very interesting question. In fact, recently I've been reflecting back on my entire life. And I have seen that, and I believe that whatever happened in my life was for my good. Initially, I was very keen to join the armed forces. We in India have got National Defense Academy, which is a premier institute which boys join at the age of around 16, 17. I was passionate about it because of my sports background, and I was a little bit patriotic feeling towards wanting to join and serve my country. I cleared all the tests and I was shortlisted for joining the Indian Air Force training in NDA. But last moment, as destiny would have it, I didn't figure in the final selection list. I was highly disappointed because I had worked for it for 4 years and then I couldn't make it. But one thing which sports taught me was resilience, bouncing back. And that's what helped me to bounce back from that big setback in my life, because for me, there was a passion for which I was working for 4 to 5 years. And then from there, I wanted to join the Indian Police Service, which is again the premier police service. There again, I worked for 5 years. Again, I failed. And I couldn't clear the ultimate test and qualify to join the IPS cadre, which is the top echelon of the Indian Police Service in India. But again, I've bounced back. And now when I reflect back on my life, I feel that whatever happened was happened for the good. Because right now, I'm an author. I'm a global trainer doing what I love to do. I play sports even today. And I'm a successful industrialist running a couple of companies and able to make a difference or provide livelihood for nearly 500 families directly or indirectly. Mm-hmm. So what I realize is in life, whatever happens, take it as if it's for your good and keep on pedaling, keep on taking action towards the goal. Mm-hmm. I, for one, believe that possibilities open up, new pathways of progress opens up, and you will be able to find it out. In fact, I was recently reading a book on Ikigai, and that has been a very beautifully put book where I realized
about finding your purpose and
finding out what you like to do, finding out what you are good at, and then finding out what the society is willing to for society's need is there, and fourth one is what the society is willing to pay for. And when I now look at it, training, coaching, facilitation as an industry has got a huge potential, and especially sales, because as I said, sales equal to revenue equal to business. No sales, no revenue, no business. So for any business, the biggest pain point is always to generate profitable sales. And as it's my conviction that every entrepreneur and every organization should train their people in sales. And one more belief I've got is, in a organization, everyone is a salesperson. And everyone should have the sales centricity or customer centricity and should view himself as a salesperson. And the organization which has got that culture, I promise you, will never have dearth of profitability, growth, and cash flow. This is my conviction. And I've been propagating it, teaching it to various companies. And whichever companies have taken it up, I have seen them grow 10x or even 100x.
Yeah. And talking about sports, I believe you still play, not maybe professionally, but still you're very active in your sports. How do you keep that momentum going?
Yeah, in fact, sports has been my passion. And in a way, yes, I have been blessed with the athletic body, and it is there in my genes. My father was a very good football player, and he always encouraged me to play sports. And I've been playing sports right from the age of around 8, 10. And I used to play all games, and suddenly I saw the aptitude for basketball because I was a good athlete. And because of that, slowly I transitioned to play at good level. I played for my club, district, state, and I was in the national youth team as well. And even for 1982 Asian Games, I was one of the prospects for that. I couldn't go into the team mainly because of my educational challenges. Because I had my examination coming up around the same time, so I couldn't go for this long camp. Sport, as I said, sports has been a part of my DNA, and I've always felt that sports is one thing which has helped me face all those setbacks and failures and big falls which I had in my life. And it has been my advice to all parents and to all children, whomsoever I happen to coach, train, even train basketball. I said, don't leave basketball, don't leave sports. You should have at least one indoor sport and one outdoor sport. And you should pursue it till the end of your life, because sports becomes the biggest stress buster. And today, all over the world, the biggest problem is stress, mainly because people have stopped involving themselves or participating in sports. I wouldn't say, looking at, being a watcher of a sports tournament on the television, that doesn't make you a sportsman. I would say sportsman means going and playing the sports in your street or in a club or wherever it is possible. That will be a real game changer for your life.
I think that's an important message, just to keep ourselves fit as well when we age, and because now there's a lot of data that with the availability of modern medicine and other things, that there's kind of a longevity crisis in the world. There will be more elderly people than youth in next decade or so in many countries. So in that case, actually, the people, especially of our age, when we get to your age, we have to we have to get inspiration and wisdom from you to keep ourselves fit, and then so I think it's very important. And
but here I'd like to share, I know something which I'm really proud of as a human being and as a sportsman and also as a trainer. During this COVID time, especially second wave, was quite severe, especially in India, especially in Bombay where I live. And people were really dying left, right, center. Many of my friends, neighbors, relatives, all of them, they're just passing off. And I realized one thing, that one of the reason why many of these people lost their life is because they were absolutely not involved in any physical activity. And because they didn't have a physical activity and a proper daily routine or ritual, they were having a problem both in their physical body and the mental body. So what I did was, I came out, I said, I'm a trainer, I'm a sportsman, I'm a yoga teacher. So I said, let me see what I can contribute. So I remember the first batch was March 24th, 2021. We started something called as a golden hour training program. It has been my conviction that, if a human being can spend 1 hour per day taking care of his body, which is the vehicle in the journey of his life, this body will take care of you for the next 23 hours. But the problem was, even though some people were ready to invest that 1 hour, they don't know what to do. So, taking a background or a cue from my sports yoga training, we came out with a golden hour schedule where we teach them 15 elements, starting with a prayer, then affirmation, then something called as a chakra balancing, then physical warm up, the nitric oxide dump, Surya Namaskar, pranayama, gratitude process, emotional freedom technique, Oponopono. We integrated all these elements, and what we call in yoga as a Panchakosha Shuddhi. Like Panchakosha means five. We human beings are not made of one sheet, we are made up of five. Annamaya Kosh is called physical body, Manomaya Kosh is the mental body, Vignayamaya Kosh is the intellectual body, Pranamaya Kosh is the life force, and Anandamaya Kosh, which is your spiritual aura. So, by using these 15 elements, we could ensure that every human being can cleanse or regenerate or re-energize all the five koshas and thereby lead a more happy life. And we started this during the second wave of COVID, and till now we have done about 25 batches. We teach these 15 elements in a 4-day program, 2 hours in the morning. And then subsequently we have a structure where people can come and join and practice this. And this we call it the golden hour community.
Yeah.
And this has been one of the most fulfilling experiences, one of the fulfilling program which I have curated.
I think it's a wonderful initiative, and you're contributing to the well-being of the people. Personally, I myself have experienced this when I joined 5 a.m. club with Robin Sharma and started practicing morning routine and things like that. I think this is very important, and this actually resonates with our theme of today as well, which is actually which I'm going to take you through in a while, because at the moment I am actually interviewing a lot of people whom I believe has become unretired. And you are one of those unretired people. Even if we want to get you retired, I don't think you will retire, isn't it?
Absolutely, you said it. In fact, as I shared with you, my friend, yes, when I was in Maldives, fools retire, and a human being should never retire. Yes. But I always say that I will leave this world either with my basketball shoe on or my training shoe on. Wonderful. I will leave this world like that, and that's what is my real wish to the Almighty, that I should leave this world when I am working.
Yes. Just since we touch base on that topic now, at which point of your career or your life you realize that you need to find a purpose and a passion which you can hang on till the rest of your life?
Actually, this has been there from the beginning. In fact, training or the profession of coaching and mentoring has been very close to my heart. And as we all know, I was talking about Ikigai. You have to find out, because each human being has been blessed with a unique ability. Every human being, he has to identify it. He has to find it out. And once if we can find it out and keep on improving it and becoming a master of it, because for example, as a trainer, you may have the talent, but the talent into effort is what makes it into a skill. And that skill has to be again put into practice in order to become accomplishment.
Yeah.
So in both of them, effort is very important. And once if you identify it, and once you realize that this is your passion, this is your unique ability, and then you get yourself trained from the best in the world, and you keep on working on your whole self, then you reach a level of mastery, as we were discussing about. And once you become a mastery, then it's no longer work. You're always in play. Like, many of us, as you would appreciate, we train for 10, 12 hours per day.
Yeah.
And sometimes it goes on for 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, but still you still don't feel, even though physically you may be exhausted, but by spirit you are still at the top of the world, and you are still, and you're still enthusiastic, and people get inspired just looking at you.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. And ultimately, every human being has got this unique ability. You have to identify it and then work on it in order to make it into something of element of excellence or mastery. And here's why I believe that people love mastery. People get inspired by mastery. Now, when you see a master at play,
talk about mastery. I think this was also the topic of your PhD thesis as well. And how did you got interested with about mastery?
Yeah,
why is your mastery so important for somebody's life?
My passion or my commitment is towards excellence. Because I've always believed that perfection is the myth, progress is the key, and excellence is a pursuit which everybody of us have to continuously work on. And I define excellence as doing the right things better and better. So, and excellence has been something which is, I think, inborn in human beings. And I, for one, believe that we human beings have been blessed with so much of capability, so much of power within, that if you are mediocre, if you are average, then you're doing the biggest insult to the Almighty, because God has given you so much of ability, capability, potential within you. And if you don't unleash them through systematic hard work, then you're doing an insult to the God Almighty. And unfortunately, that's what I told you as my mission, to help people to untap or unravel or unleash the potential, which is what is the title of my first book.
Yeah.
Unleash Your Potential, which has been one of the best sellers, and which I have really poured my art into it, and would.
And you also mentioned earlier to me that it's also art and the science, right?
Yes.
In everything, there's the art and the science.
Absolutely. In fact, especially in sales, people feel that sales people are born. Biggest myth. Sales people are made. And they have to understand that
the same with science. Leaders, for example. And other people say leaders are born, right? No. For a fact that
it is actually science. You have to understand the fundamentals of it. You have to work on the foundation and slowly and steadily build up that foundation and the fundamentals, and keep on honing it up.
Yeah.
Talent into effort is what makes it a skill. And that's a continuous process. And then skill into effort what will make you into accomplishment, or that's what will touch excellence or mastery.
I think you're talking about there's a nice model given by Dr. Dufworth in her book Grit, right?
Right.
On how to become mastery and how the effort plays an important role. I think that's is something which has helped me also personally after I read that book. So now, what will be your message to a mid-career professional who is struggling to whether he should continue the work which he's doing, and he is not, maybe he's doing the 9 to 5, or maybe he has flexibility around his work, but he's struggling to see that this is something he can continue for the rest of his life, and thinking about starting something of his own and trying to find that passion. We talk about the Ikigai, how you can find the passion, use the Ikigai principle. So what will be your advice for somebody at this stage of life?
Very good question. I think this is the big challenge right now. And people are not really deriving satisfaction, enjoyment, pleasure and joy from their work. It's a tragedy, because I'm also a student of happiness, and happiness comes from four things: from your relationship with your family, friends, your relationship with your work, and your relationship with your faith. These are the four pillars of happiness. People have a myth. People feel that more power, more money, more pleasure, and more fame will give you happiness. No. They are enablers, but they are not the pathway to perpetual continuous happiness. The four real pillars of happiness is, as I said, your relationship with your family, your closeness, or how many close friends you have got, real friends you have got,
Your connection.
and your connection, your relationship with your work, and of course, the faith. So, if a person is not going to be happy with
I
his
think
work,
you're given this model of happiness.
yes,
I heard that you are writing a book. Is this going to be your next book?
yeah, my next book, the eighth book, I'm planning to write on happiness, especially on how people need to be happy. Whichever profession you are, you may be an entrepreneur, you may be a sales professional, you may be a businessman, you may be a executive. Moment you are happy, you will become more productive.
I suspected this when you shared me the happiness formula from Morgadet.
Oh God,
Yeah. I also started reading his book, but I haven't gone to.
Yeah, in fact, two people whom I really follow in his book, Gawat, who says happiness is equal to event minus expectation, and Arthur Brooks, one of the legendary Harvard professor on happiness, who has given this formula of happiness is equal to enjoyment plus satisfaction plus meaning. And they are very profound. And I think
this is that is a profound formula, even for people like I mentioned who are trying to find meaning in their life and a purpose in their life, because this shows how important that is to have a meaning and purpose in their life to become even happier, right? Because if you're not happy, then you might not as live, right?
Absolutely.
So if you when we go into the later years of our life, it is so important us to be happy. I think this is a very important message. And so
there are a lot of myths about happiness. Yes, but in fact, people confuse pleasure with happiness. People
material
think that material thing with happiness. As I said, people feel that more money means more happiness, more fame is more happiness, more power means more happiness, or more sensual pleasures. Sensory pleasure is more happiness. No, they're all limited. The more you, after some time, any of these things will become cathartic, headache. They become a disease.
Yes.
Whereas as I said, the other aspect which I said about, that's fair. What are you talking about work? People should look at work with a sense of gratitude. In fact, I'm a big fan of the distinction called gratitude. People sometimes take things for granted. Every person who has got a job should first and foremost feel that he's so lucky that he has got a place to go to work every day morning. And human beings spend almost 1/3 of their life working, and if they're not going to be happy doing what they are doing for earning the livelihood, that is going to be a biggest tragedy for them to in their life. So there are two things again here. Here's what I feel is, you do what you love, or love what you do. But sometime in life is not that straight line that you'll only get job which you will like, or you will do only the job which you will like. If you have the other perception that whatever comes in my life, I will do it my best way. I will give it my 100% commitment, and I will do my best. If you have that type of attitude, then you will automatically start enjoying your work, and then you can transcend towards for identifying your unique ability, and thereby ensure that you are able to derive happiness out of every work which you do. And I think it's a matter of attitude. No job is bad. No job is demeaning. If you have the dignity of work, every job that you do it with passion, involvement, interest, commitment, and you will see that you will touch excellence. And when you touch excellence, automatically you feel happy about it.
So I think it is important, and current book which I'm writing called Unretirable, and like I mentioned earlier, this is one reason I have created this podcast actually to share with the people out there actually. Uh, because the traditional means or the traditional thinking of retirement has to change now, because this was originally invented during the industrial era, when the people were actually involved with a lot of physical work, and they cannot no more do the physical work, and also the lifespan was short back then, 100 years back. So now with all these advancement in technology and all those things, um, it's possible for somebody to live healthier longer, because even those days when somebody is living longer, even not always, but still there were places in the earth even today, some places like in Japan and few other places, where people live longer and more fulfilling lives. So at this transitional point, how important is it for somebody to find that passion which they can, like you mentioned, which they can, not everything might not be the thing which they have initially thought passion. And when talking about passion, I think a lot of times people make this mistake. Passion is just one thing for the entire life. It might, because you very passionately just now talk about the passion you had for sports, then you wanted to get, you are very passionate about getting into military, into police, and all those things. But later your passion changed more into coaching, teaching, and training, and these things. So at different stages of life, it's possible for us to have different passions, right? So with your experience, how one should know that it is time for them to transcend into the next passion or take the next phase of their life?
Yeah, it's an excellent question. No, now the new perception towards passion is, passion need not be confined to only one area. You can be passionate about everything.
Yeah.
It all depends upon how you perceive those things, how you look at it. When they say when you change the way you look at things, the thing which you look at changes. Just to give you an example from my own life,
Yeah.
I also founded, as a first generation entrepreneur, a soft luggage or a company which manufactures um, solutions for promotion, for packaging, conference and events, for gifting. Basically, all travel goods, travel accessories, right from a small pouch to tell a story.
Mhm.
Now, finally speaking, I'm not good at creating. I'm not great at designing. I'm not good at the technical aspects of it. But then what I did was, I'm now looking at this beautiful company of mine called Pacific Trends, which has been in existence for 28 years now. I look at it as my training laboratory. So I look at it as a way of empowering my team members, who involve 50% of them are workers and laborers who do machine work. And then the administration, dispatch, all the different functions of business are there, right? From marketing, sales, operation, production, finance, R&D, and management. So I look at that company as my training laboratory, and I empower them, enable them, and educate them. So even though I'm running a company, industry, actually in industry with almost, we are about 150 people working for us. Now it's around 80 after COVID. But 80 people are working for me for the last 25, 28 years. And apart from that, another about 200 people work indirectly for us. So even though production, technicality, bag manufacturing, bag designing is not my core competency, it doesn't come easily to me. But when I look at it from the perspective that I am a leader there, empowering people, enabling them, using my unique ability of training or to empowering them, I'm able to run them
I think
business is profitable.
Just stop here. This is a wonderful message for entrepreneurs. Yes. I'm also a mentor for young entrepreneurs as well. I work with Founders Institute US. But a lot of times, I think these even matured entrepreneurs don't think like this. Yes. They don't think they are an enabler. Rather than they think they are an enforcer. Because you brought that word very empowering and
enabling and educating.
And educating. I think the 3 E's, right? Is a very important message, I think, for entrepreneurs as well. So an entrepreneur who is trying not to retire and continue, I think this is one of the best models or thinking patterns they can use to use the 3 E's.
Absolutely. And one more thing which I wanted to share with you, which I like about your concept when we met twice in Maldives was this. See, you as a human being, you join any organization after you pass out, right? 325. Then over a period of time, you keep on learning, upgrading. You fail, you learn from mistakes and keep on upgrading. Yeah. By the time you are 45, 50, you have learned so many things out of your past experiences or past involvement. Now, when you have reached the age of 50, you have reached a certain level of competence, capability. Yes. And then suddenly people retire. So that 25, 30 years, you have gathered so much of knowledge, skill, attitude, experiences, capabilities. It goes waste. So when I look
at... they need to step up and share it with the world.
Absolutely. Share the world. I don't know what took me 10 hours when I was 25. Mm-hmm. Now it just takes me about 2 hours because of my experience and expertise. And I'm able to get it done from other people. Yeah. So you have that capability and many people let it go. And that's why people who retire, especially I've seen in many places, as they say, when you don't use it, then God takes you back because you become useless. So don't become useless, don't retire. Use your capability, experience to empower, enable, educate others, and also to prosper yourself and keep yourself in a high peak state. Mm-hmm. And because a person who's going to just remain like that, be isolated.
Talking about state, you shared with me earlier that you took this training with Tony Robbins and unleashed the power within. The program as well. And I think it's. I also participated in a short form training.
In fact, I did the entire curriculum of Tony Robbins, Master University, right from life mastery, business mastery, wealth mastery, unleash your potential within.
So, what does it taught you to actually manage your state, the importance of managing your state to manage your mind and soul and body?
Absolutely. In fact, just recently in my Maldives masterclass, I was talking to the audience and they loved it. See, there are 3 things: strategy, story, and state. People, unfortunately, give more importance to strategy, business strategy. Mm-hmm. But business strategy comes last. What comes first is your state. State means your state is comprising of your physical state, your mental state, your emotional state, the spiritual state. Mm-hmm. Means how you are able to ensure that you are at a high vibrational level, high energy level. Mm-hmm. From that, you're able to create meanings or stories which can empower you. Because state is made up of 3 parts of a triangle. One is the physiology, second is your focus, and third one is your language. Physiology means how you carry yourself. Very, very important. Very important. Your posture. It's also important about focus, means what you are able to focus on. What are you focusing on, positive or are you focusing on negative emotions? So your focus gives you feelings, and feelings gives you the power of intensity, action, and the results. And language is very important. Now, language is very, very critical. If you are able to use positive language, because words have energy. Mm-hmm. Your language has energy. And if you use a wrong language, it can be detrimental to the whole thing. So you have to train yourself in terms of your physiology, in terms of how to manage your focus of your mind, and also to ensure that you are able to use positive language. Mm-hmm. Like, that's why you must have seen me. Whenever you ask me, how are you? I say, top of the world.
Yes.
Right? And this has been, I've constantly cultivated it, and it has given me a lot of benefits in all areas of
Has it helped you to put you in top of the world?
Absolutely, absolutely. And this top of the world, again, people feel that they don't really understand the crux. Now we are staying in a earth, which is a globe, right? Which is round,
Yeah.
and we all are existing on the top of the world only.
Yes, always.
Right? All of us, always. So it's not that people feel top of the world means there. No, I'm not talking about space. I'm bringing top of the world. World is a globe, and I'm on the top of the world. So it's a truth. But that word, when I say I'm on the top of the world, which is a truth, you feel good. Not only you feel good, the other person also feels good. And one more thing is, whenever I never say I never say good morning. I say happy morning. So that word, happy, again, sends a very positive vibration. So language is very critical. I'm a big fan of using positive language.
I'm sure we'll hear more about this in your upcoming book. Absolutely. And I wish you all the best for that book. I'm very eager to read that book. Is just a final message of your years of experience and the wisdom you have collected. Out of that, what is one wisdom you like to share with our audience that they can carry for rest of their life?
Absolutely. My Maha Mantra, which I call myself, is you always have this particular statement as your principal statement, that I am responsible for everything in my life.
Okay.
Whatever happens in your life, I'm responsible. Because once you imbibe this, because responsibility and power are the two sides of the same coin. So when you take responsibility, you have power. Power is nothing but the ability to take action. And when you take action, you will get results. Okay. And that's why what people run away from responsibility by giving justification, blaming, or complaining, or denying and quitting. So constantly avoid ever giving an excuse or a reason or justification or blaming somebody. Take whatever happens in your life, personally, socially, I'm responsible. Say I'm responsible. And then see the magic happening in life. If you can really imbibe this thing, as you rightly said, you will never want to retire from any job or from your life. You'll always be on the top of any situation, and thereby truly enjoy this beautiful gift of human life which God and Allah has given us.
Thank you very much, Dr. Arunaagiri. It has been really a pleasure. And then I think this has already given a lot of, there are so many nuggets of wisdom in this episode, which I'm sure most of you will want to reflect back and rewind and listen again. And until we come back with another episode of Waves of Wisdom, don't forget to take responsibility, as Dr. Arunaagiri has said in his last words. Thank you very much. See you again next week.